Hello students, today I want to explain you the poem included in grade 7. The name of the poem is The Squirrel by Mildred Bowers Armstrong. It's a beautiful poem about the beautiful creature of God. About the author, Mildred Bowers, she was born in 1901 and she died in 1984. Mildred Bowers earned her bachelor's degree from Northwestern University in 1923. Bowers titled her first volume of poetry Twist or Smoke after the pseudonym she used in college. Twist or Smoke won the 1928 Yale Younger Poets Prize and was published by Yale University Press. Bowers also published verse in periodicals under her married name, Mildred Armstrong. Before starting the explanation, I want to read the poem for you. He wore a question mark for tail, an overcoat of grey. He sat up straight to eat a nut. He liked to tease and play. And if we ran around his tree, he went the other way. So students, please you must also read the poem twice. Students, as you may have seen a squirrel sitting on the ground eating a nut. Here the poet wants to tell to you, what did it look like? That is the main attempt of the poet to explain to you. The objectives of this poem are to instill among you the aesthetic sense, to invoke a reading habit, to develop the habit of enjoying poetry and rhyme, to enrich your English language, to encourage you to have a love for nature. New words like question mark for tail, the tail which looks like question mark. You can see the picture also that the tail of the squirrel is looking like a question mark. Overcoat of grey, the squirrel appears wearing a grey coat. The fur of the squirrel is seeming to the poet as overcoat of grey. Tease, you people are very familiar to this word, to make fun of. The students were teasing the fellow students. The key points of this poem are: the squirrel is sitting on the ground. To poet, it appears in a different way. Poet feels that its tail is like question mark and body is covered with grey coat. It is very naughty and likes to tease. The summary of the poem is: in the poem The Squirrel, the poet Mildred Bowers Armstrong describes a squirrel that she observes in her garden. The poet describes how the squirrel, covered in grey fur, sits in an upright position on a tree branch eating a nut. His tail looks like a question mark because of its bent shape. The happy and lively squirrel loves to play with the poet and her friends. Whenever they ran around his tree, he would run to the other side of the tree. The poet tells us about the nature of the squirrel, that it is innocently naughty and likes to tease anyone who comes near him. Thank you students. I hope you have understood the poem. Please write this poem in beautiful handwriting in your fair notebooks and draw or paste a picture of a squirrel. Thank you. Have a nice day.